Live.
And we're live. Welcome to Big Boy Crypto, home of the BitSquad, the largest and greatest crypto community in all of the interwebs. Many call it an alliance. I'm your host, DZ. We come to you Monday through Friday at 11:38 Eastern Standard Time. It's been a little bit of a crazy week. We have been in Florida right now. Now, the audience are wondering, is he hanging out with the Island Boys? Is he hanging out with Rick Ross, on a jet ski? Why don't you tell him what is Ben doing down there, TJ?
Ben is he's playing a little poker right now. Made the jump, got down there a little early. A lot of us are leaving right after the live stream here to head down there for DecentralCon. You're going to be at NFT. What's it called?
I said Basil.
Yeah,
Basil. NFT Basil. It's Bazel. It's at the FTX arena.
Yeah. So there's all kinds of stuff going on in Miami this week. Everybody from crypto is going to be down there, so we'll be rolling out that way. Got some big stuff, some live shows coming from down there. A little bit of a different look for ATB the next couple nights. So yeah, it's going to be fun.
Are you going to be involved in that? Are you going to be a guest? Or I know there's a couple people who want to be on. I guess I'm hosting it.
Yeah, you'll be hosting it. I may or may not be a guest on there. It kind of depends on how everything sorts out. I know
they're saying why TJ never hosts. Maybe he hosts Wednesday because I'll be flying back.
Maybe there you go. Maybe I'll do that.
Maybe people like when TJ hosts.
Yeah, I like to host. It's a really fun show. Really good to interact with everybody. Get to meet other people. Oh, they say I'm not as pretty, so they like DZ's fresh face. So.
Dang it, Andy.
Yeah, no,
we're trying to get him on stage, not off.
I'll do it from time to time. We might actually start doing some new stuff on the Hit Network channel too. So just stay tuned. Always have a lot of stuff in the works. But.
Is DZ Plan B? No, but I always have a Plan B in my pocket. Metaphorically speaking, of course, not literally. Come on, Aaron. What do you get your head out of the gutter here? All right. Well, we're gonna cut right into it. First thing we got here, we got 1.4 million subscribers. And don't worry, we will be taking new pictures. I know you're tired of seeing the same 3 pictures. One of them, my eye is literally closed in the thumbnail. I hate that picture, but we end up using it. We keep using it. So yeah, we're at 1.4 million subscribers. Make sure you check that out. We got some really good videos that came out over the weekend. We're talking about that metaverse stuff, talking about a really good crypto you might want to check out, and the latest episode of NFT Update that came out Saturday, 11 a.m. So you definitely want to check those out. The Twitter, we're not going to be pushing Ben's. We're not even going to be pushing mine. Pluto Alliance. We got huge news for Pluto Alliance. The Burn to Mint is going live tomorrow. Now, what is Burn to Mint? We're going to have a regular mint. That's about 48 hours from now. But the Burn to Mint is, there's some lower level V1 aliens. There's some Pluto Alliance aliens. People got a lot of them. There's just some low hanging fruit, So people, they might not have ETH, but maybe they got a Pluto Alliance. Maybe they have 7 of them. Some people got like 20, and they don't want to spend ETH to get this new drop. Well, don't worry. You can burn an old alien, and it gives you a new alien. So let's check out the art right here. This art is nuts. So if you got like a low-level Jupiter or a Saturn, maybe you get a black hole. Maybe you get a Mars. You don't know what you're going to get. It's totally randomized. So I know I'm burning 2 Saturns. We're going to be burning some in the wallet. So we're going to burn up to 3,333. I don't know how many will burn. Maybe a fourth of that, maybe half that, maybe all of it. Who knows? But yeah, you burn your old one, and you can get your V1 here. I don't know if this link. We're looking at the links here. I think yeah, we got it right here. So you get your old Saturn, get you an old Jupiter. Get you one of these old ones. And then go burn it for one of the new ones if you want, or just wait 24 hours, and then the mint will go live then. So you be able to check it out. We go to the website right here. It's real simple. Pluto Alliance, the battle's begun. The story's evolving. I'm not going to get into the whole story, but the planet's at war, man. The galaxy's at war. The Galactic Union, the Pluto Alliance, they're fighting. All right, is Pluto a planet? Let us know in the comments, and go ahead and hit that like while you're at it. Is Pluto a planet? TJ, is Pluto a planet?
I grew up believing Pluto is a planet, and I still hold true to that. And you guys have some merch and stuff to show as well.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I made up some shirts over the weekend. Pluto is a planet. We got them in the Hanes tagless tee. So if you run into me in Miami, maybe I'll have a shirt on me. And all you got to do is say Pluto is a planet when I see you. See, what I like about science is you don't believe science. Science is just science. Pluto is a planet. I don't know what I believe and what I don't believe. It is a planet, so it's not even like up for debate. It's I don't care what that Tyson guy says. Doesn't even like make chicken or something. I don't even know. But yeah,
That's
no,
funny.
no. Pluto's definitely a planet. Everyone knows it. It's all, the whole galactic union. They're wrong. That's all we're gonna say. But
There you
let's see. We got the Instagram here, 2,700. I have a lot of scammers out there. I know maybe not as many as Ben, maybe not as many as TJ, but I don't have that many followers. These scammers will have 5x, even 10x my amount of followers on Instagram. So people will get messaged by this fake DZ,
go. Mhm.
and then they'll click my account and they'll be like, "Oh, this one only has 2,000. This guy with 20,000 followers, he's clearly the real one. Yeah, let me he said he'll help me with my crypto trading." I'll never DM you. I'll
Yeah.
never DM you. But if you want to give me a follow, maybe boost my numbers up a little bit, and we can make it a little bit harder for the scammers to steal money from the Bit Squad, because that's essentially what they're trying to do. They're trying to steal money. So
Yeah.
we don't like that. Hype train incoming in the Twitch chat. Yeah, what is the Jack Dorsey? I mean, we'll see. We're gonna get into that. You be patient. We're gonna get into it. Make sure you check out DeFi store. We got some pretty cool merch. Maybe you'll see some Pluto merch on there soon. So we're working on that. We're working on it. It's happening soon. And of course, we got the TikTok. Maybe Ben will do a live, not a live TikTok, but maybe he'll do some fresh Miami style TikToks. So if you want to see Ben do merengue or something, maybe give him a follow. Maybe you'll see it. Close to 3 million followers there. So we're really getting up there. And again, I mean, we can't push Pluto Alliance 24 hours from now. You can burn mint, and then 24 hours after that, everybody gets involved. And then boom. Then the floodgates are going to open, and these aliens are going to be swarming everywhere. I
Yeah.
can't wait, man.
Let's jump into the markets. And then, real quick on that mention you had about the scammers, they are out in force right now. Somebody in the chat said, I've been followed by 6 DZs each time I look to see if they're real. I know I got a ton of messages over the weekend from some new hit network accounts that got started and then started messaging people offering to help them. So like he said, if you get a random DM from any of our accounts that's offering to do something relating to crypto for you, just know that's not us. We don't have time to manage your crypto. Not that we don't want to help, but like everything we have, we put on the stream here. So just keep that in mind. And I think I even posted something over the weekend that's kind of tongue in cheek, but it says like if you get a DM from a random girl in a bikini telling you about Bitcoin, just ignore that guy.
Yeah,
Because
just ignore him.
yeah.
He'll leave you alone eventually. But yeah, no, it is bad out there, and they are trying to scam. We'll never. And then he says, it's not that we don't want to. We don't have time to manage your portfolio. TJ, do you have time to manage your own portfolio?
No, I really don't. It's that's what we got Tim for. He
Yeah,
helps us
yeah,
with all that
yeah.
stuff. So
Speaking of managing portfolio, just a quick story before we get into the market watch. IMX, I got an airdrop of that over $15,000. So
wow.
now maybe you guys will stop making fun of me for my small amounts. But on that note, I did buy a 4 link on the dip.
Oh,
Why did I
4 more
say that?
link.
Why did I say that?
Got
Why-
'em.
You know what? I try to take away the ammunition, and then what I do, I just gave him like a whole full clip
Hey.
there. So yeah, I bought 4 link. Okay, but
There you
all right, let's look at the markets. Speaking of link and some of these other blue chips, if we look at the top of the market here, top of the market, top of the market, top of the market. Look at that. We have Bitcoin up 6%, Ethereum up 8%, BNB. Ooh, look at that Solana. That Solana is pumping and is pumping hard. Wants to be above that $200. Cardano, I see people in the chat. Oh, Cardano haters. The Cardano fans I'm seeing are buying the dip. I know Dan from Crypto Capital Venture. He said he bought Cardano first time in a long time. I think that's really what you're seeing happening is the real Cardano fans, they see this as an opportunity, not something to lament or get butthurt over. All right, Dogecoin's up, Polkadot's up. I do want to go all the way down to Link. Link's up 5%. Hey, I got it like at 22 or something like that. So yeah, looking good, feeling good about that. No, it might have even been $19. So it was a very, very cheap. I wanted to make sure I get in on that. All right, let's check out the top gainers of the market here.
Real quick, just kind of want to hear your perspective a little bit regarding the weekend. Obviously, we had a pretty volatile weekend, going as low as 53 and change in some places. Where were you sentiment wise? Were you fearful buying the dip? Obviously, you bought the dip a little bit with Link,
Yeah.
but where were you mentally over the weekend watching?
I
all that
was
volatility?
actually pretty bearish. I don't want to say pretty bearish. I was feeling a little bearish, but then the extreme fear and greed index came out,
Mhm.
and it was in extreme fear. So when it's in extreme fear, that's when I feel good about buying. That's when I'm like, all right, this is a buying opportunity. Can it go down a little bit further? Yeah. What will I do? Buy more. So that's fine. Now, when the price is going down a little bit and everyone's still being greedy, that's when you're going to see a huge, huge dump. I don't like buying in extreme greed. I do like buying in extreme fear. Buy in the red, sell in the green. I mean, if you do that strategy, chances are you're going to be doing all right as long as you don't, live and die by the 5-minute candle. If you're kind of zooming out here on a weekly, daily type of course, buying in the red, selling in the green is a strategy. So yeah, I bought the dip. I was feeling a lot better once I saw that people were fearful. I don't know.
Yeah.
Where were you at?
No, similar. I was along the same lines, kind of what you were saying when it first started going, you have those instant feelings like, was 70 the top?
Yeah.
Like, are we in a
Yeah.
bear market now? But always when I start to think that, I know like, okay, we're probably close to a bottom. And then when everybody's echoing the same thing, like, oh, it's going to 52, going to 53, like 100%, we're going down. That's when I start to feel better. Like, oh, everybody's bearish, then
Yep.
we're probably bullish. If
Yep.
everybody, kind of like what you were saying, if everybody's like, oh, don't worry, buy the dip, we're still going up, everybody's extremely confident, then it's like, oh, we might be in a bear market here. So it's
Yeah.
almost like a reverse emotion indicator. That's kind of where I was at early on. Thanksgiving, it had a nice recovery. Friday, Saturday was looking ugly, was hoping for a bounce. Sunday, we got it. Feel a little better going into this weekend. 53, 54 range seems like really strong support now. So we still have some time for a big move up, but yeah, that's
Yeah,
where my
and
head
I had
was.
that prediction a long time ago. I made many months ago. I said the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, I think is going to be the top. I thought that because I felt December was too baked in. Everyone's going to sell. And then I kind of amended it. Now I'm kind of thinking Christmas Eve. I'm still kind of thinking that. I don't think that was the top. I don't think 68 was the top. I mean, am I 100% sure? Of course I'm not. No one is. Well, some people might claim that they are, but yeah, I mean, I don't think 68 is the top. I think we still go higher. So I'm pushing it back, but I've also said this, I'm slowly but surely coming around to the Cowan, delayed, bear markets, the lengthening cycles theory. So starting to come around to that again. It's always good. You don't want the person that never changed their mind. That means they get new information and then they're just like digging their heels in further. Now, I like to change my mind. I like to get new information. I like to reassess. I like to pivot. But I'm still thinking, 68. I don't think that was the top,
Yeah.
personally.
No, I agree. I think we will get another move up here pretty soon. So let's do some Q&A.
Yeah, let's do it.
If you guys have any questions for DJ, DZ.
Oh, someone real quick while you're doing that, someone said have TJ pay you in Link. Just for full reference, I was buying Chainlink at $2.
Yeah.
Okay, I like crypto. I've been around. I've been a fan of Link. I think I sold it all like $4 or $5. But hey, we all have stories like that.
Hey, that's profit. That's what counts.
That's what I was thinking. I'm up 2x. I'm rich.
All right. So this is an interesting question. We're going to get into the story a little bit later about Jack Dorsey. But somebody asked on the basement, do you think Jack Dorsey is moving to the metaverse now that he's stepping down as the CEO of Twitter?
I kind of talked about this a week or two ago when I said, Twitter isn't Jack Dorsey. Jack Dorsey isn't Twitter. A lot of what happened with Twitter is it's co-opted out of his hands due to his board. I mean, he has a board that tried to fire him. Like,
Mhm.
at the end of the day, like, let's remember Twitter tried to fire Jack Dorsey. So clearly, Jack Dorsey and Twitter don't always see eye to eye. So when Twitter does something that's like very centralized, people oftentimes get angry at the guy who's done more for Bitcoin than everybody except for a handful of people in the world, like a list of dozens or hundreds, I would say. But so he's done more for Bitcoin than me, done more for Bitcoin than you. So to me, I have a tough time, chastising him for what he's done. I think he's going, I wouldn't say metaverse so much as I would say Web3. I think he's all in on Web3.
Yeah.
Twitter is going to be moving towards Web3 integration, but it's probably too slow for his liking. I mean, maybe he's going to make a decentralized competitor. Who knows? I'm sure he's, still keeping close tabs on all of these, as the majority stockholder. It's not like it's just going to run away from him and he has no control. I'm sure he has influence still, but I see a situation kind of similar to Discord where the leadership and the engineers, they know Web3 is the future, but maybe the people are trying to fight it. The customer base is trying to fight it. Maybe original investors, board members are trying to fight it. So maybe I think it's not moving Web3 quick enough for him. So he's just like, all right, you guys, you want to run it to the ground. And for all I care, I'm stepping away. So I think he's huge on Metaverse, but more so Web3. I think he's thinking more broad than just the Metaverse.
Yeah, I think that's pretty accurate. Web3 is going to encompass the metaverse, but it's not going to be limited to the metaverse.
Yeah.
Obviously, his wheelhouse is in payments platforms and
Yes,
short
I
form.
think, yeah, on that, I think he's focusing on Web3 payment systems. That'd be my guess, which would be like an underlying layer of all the metaverses. Like how are you going to pay for, your digital Nike shoes, or your digital painting, or your digital chair, your digital car, or your digital paint job on your digital vehicle. So wouldn't be surprised if we see something from Jack Dorsey. And plus, he's a huge Bitcoin bull. Maybe he's trying to bring. Maybe he sees what's happening with Ethereum and Solana, and he's like, you know what? Let's not forget about Bitcoin. Maybe that's where his energy is laying.
This one relates to you particularly. I think you could speak to it. Somebody was asking, wouldn't games like Magic the Gathering make great
Yeah, yeah,
NFTs?
and kind of what I was speaking on earlier. I was streaming Magic the Gathering. I'm huge on Web3 NFTs with the Magic the Gathering style game, but they hate it. The customer base of Magic the Gathering hates crypto, and they hate NFTs. Mostly just disinformation, and a lot of just inaccuracies. But just a quick story. I took weekends off to start playing Gods Unchained when I was a streamer. I used to stream 7 days a week. I was like, this isn't healthy. I took the weekends off, relaxed, played Gods Unchained. That's all I did. On the I didn't really do too much. I played January, February, March. I had an Immutable X airdrop that I looked at this weekend. I had 1,800 Immutable X. It's an $8 token. So I was given $15,000 just by playing Gods Unchained on the weekend. That's all I did. And then I got $2,000 in Gods Unchained token, Gods token. I was given 17,000 just for playing a game. And then this is what Web3 does. So when I see like MTG and the Discord people, we're like fighting against Discord integrating crypto, it's just like, you idiots. Do you not see where the future's heading?
Yeah.
Do you not want to get paid playing Magic? Do you want to just keep sinking your money into Magic the Gathering and then never being able to pull that out? Sure, have fun. Me personally, I'd rather own my cards. And it's like paper, you buy that pack, it's yours to sell. It's a lottery ticket. Maybe you pull that $100 card, $200 card. Maybe you buy a $20 pack and you pull $1,000 card. And the fact that you say, no, that $1,000 card, I don't want to own it. That's what that sounds like to me. I don't want to own the cards that I buy.
Yeah.
Okay, have fun with that. Like personally, I'm on the other end. I think it's clear to see which end the future is heading.
Well, like you said, we're definitely trending in play to earn style games with incentives to play. And like you said, the young generation now, when you can either pay to play a game or get paid to play the game,
Yeah.
the choice is clear.
Yeah. Fortnite skins.
Yeah.
You don't want the ability to sell them? Like, okay, sure.
Yeah, exactly. So, a couple questions. Do you know much about the Wonderland DAO? I know we covered it some on the channel. We bought some in it. They've got ridiculously high APY rates. Somebody asking if we think it's a ticking time bomb or if those rates are sustainable.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, of course, right?
Yeah.
I mean, where do you lay on that? Like, do you think that's all of a sudden the APY is going to plummet along with the price? When will that happen? Not as long as there's growth.
Exactly. It's a game you're playing. Like obviously you can't have multiple thousands of percent APY sustained for a really long time. This is something you saw. We called it DeFi summer. I think it was 2020. We had all these DeFi projects coming out, and you'd get all these crazy APYs, and then you're playing a game for a while where you're getting so many coins, but the coins are dropping in value, and people are selling as they're coming in. So a lot of times those are ticking time bombs, but you never know until you kind of get in and play with them. So that's where we come from. We like to play with a lot of different projects, see what happens. So, and like kind of like what DZ was saying, at its surface, when you start looking at playing Gods Unchained on the weekends and you look at what you're getting for just the initial time, it doesn't look like it's good ROI. But then you get an airdrop. Then you get these other
Yeah.
tokens that you weren't expecting, and all of a sudden you got $15,000 for a couple of weekends. It's really good ROI on your time, and that's something we see with a lot of different crypto projects. When you get it in, test them, play with them, there's a lot of discovered value that you maybe don't see right at the beginning.
And
So,
then look at the claimable time. Like, do you have to stake for 30 days? You
yeah.
know, expect a huge dump from the first buying pressure. Well,
Mhm.
check out, zoom out 30 days.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be huge selling pressure. An example, this is a loaded topic, but Hex, what is it? Their club is like 5 years or 10 years or something.
Something crazy.
It's like 8888 or 5555 days or something like that. Where, I mean, if you look like, yeah, Hex is going up and to the right, but what do you think is going to happen that first time where everyone starts basically they're able to sell their Hex? I mean, I don't know if I'm sitting on $1 million that I paid $100 for. It's 5 years later. All of a sudden, this $1 million, I think I'm going to sell and I think I'm going to pull some profit. So but what's that time period? Like, so maybe you're riding the train for years. Maybe
Right.
months, maybe days. Who knows? But ride the train, but look for an exit. That's all I say. Ride the train though.
Thoughts on Meta Hero?
Uh, Meta Hero. I mean, it's a good name. You know what I mean? Like, it has that going for it. And I hate even saying like, oh, that's a tangible, value, but like it really is. Is it gonna? I mean, the meta thing. There's gonna be so much competition. Again, this is something that I spoke on last week. You can ape into like 20, 30 projects, and then you're gonna have that one or two that just explode, and that would have been a great strategy. But moving forward, there's been a lot of pumps. So maybe, but there's also going to be a lot of dumps. So
Yeah.
maybe you just kind of want to wait, see what you think is going to win. Wait till you see that there's 2 or 3 competitors, invest in those when they're versus 2 or 3 dozen. Like, okay, you can go invest in 24 or 36 projects, or you can just wait till it gets boiled down to like the top 5. I'm a more, I don't know. It just depends. If
It's tough.
it's tough. You can't do all 36, but like maybe out of that 36, you just see like a really good Twitter.
Yeah.
Or you know what? That website's really good. Yeah, if you got a good feeling, go ahead and jump in it. But again, same situation. Just be ready for an exit point.
Yeah, it's tough with metaverse projects. It's so funny. Literally this morning, I was talking with Frank and Aaron in the office, and they're saying, "Yeah, I've been watching Sand and some of these other projects, and it just keeps pumping. It's at all-time high." I say, "Oh, I can't bite at all-time high." Wake up the next day, it's 50% up. I don't know if they were talking about Sand or Gala or one of these
Yeah.
other Axie Infinity. So we're getting a lot of questions like that. Like, it's tough to call with metaverse projects because they're pumping so hard right now. You're waiting for a retrace, and then you wake up and they're up another 20, 30% the next day. So I think what you said there was good. If you've got a good gut instinct on one project for one reason or another, that makes sense. Like somebody asked, if we're doing anything in the Sandbox Alpha. We've actually been in there in Sandbox messing with it for the last year or two. We have a huge plot of land in there. We've been developing and playing with different things on there. So I'd say pick a couple projects and just start playing with them. And then the more you mess with it, the more you'll see why certain ones are better than others.
Yeah, I do like Sand. I'm seeing a lot of questions about Sand. Pluto Alliance, they bought some Sand plots with their community wallet. So I mean, it's one of the things we're looking at. I think it has a high probability of being one of the winners for sure.
Yeah.
Mana, Decentraland, and just by the sheer volume of dollars that they're pouring into it.
Right.
At the end of the day, money talks. It walks. All right, we had 1,300 likes, almost 7,500 viewers. I know we can smash through 2,000 likes. We can start touching 10K. So let's start touching 10K. Let's start celebrating these crypto pumps that are starting to happen. I know you were loving to see it. All right, we ready for some chart action?
Let's get into it.
All right, let's get right into it. We're looking right here at the daily chart on Bitcoin. It did look like a green buying opportunity. I don't know what's going on. I got to look at it. I opened a little KuCoin long on Ethereum and 41 sold at 43, but I didn't make it's like I had a 0 leverage or something, like a 1x leverage. I have to look into it. But yeah, it's looking good. I mean, I personally was saying, this does look like a buying opportunity. That first green dot, I mean, it's just a little bit cut off, but it's like right below there. So we got it going up and to the right, as they say. Looks like the 53,500 was about as low as it wanted to go. If we look at the 4-hour, what's the short term looking like? Ooh, another
Bull flag.
yeah, a little bit of a bull flag pennant there. It is a small one on the 4-hour, so we got to be a little bit careful because it does seem like it might be hitting, maybe getting close to oversold territory. But If we look over here, when it happened, what was this? This is November 8th. It just kept going up. You know, it hit that overbought, and then it just still goes up, still goes up. We look, what's it doing this afternoon though? Oh man, that's looking good. So this afternoon, I'm feeling pretty good. I'm feeling
Yeah.
pretty good for this afternoon. Let's look at Ethereum. Again, this is the daily. We did have a blood diamond on the daily. You see that huge giant red candle. Now we got another green dot. So, you know, it's not saying that it was the bottom, but it is saying it was a bottom. It looks like, you know, it's maybe trying to catapult off of this again. Let's check out the 8 hour. 8 hour looking pretty good. VWAPs, you know, the money flow indicator is a little red, so I'm a little bit hesitant. The VWAP might be coming down. If we go to the 4 hour, still looking pretty good, but you know, this might be a consolidation period, maybe cooling off. That 1 hour looks so bullish on the Bitcoin, a little less so. I did notice this when Bitcoin was dropping from 68, it went pretty far, right? It fell over almost $15,000. Ethereum did not want to go below 4,000.
Yep.
So Bitcoin's dropping, and Ethereum just kind of didn't want to go any lower. So now when Bitcoin's going up, Ethereum still has that little bit of extra like pressure holding it down. So it's going to be a little bit harder for Ethereum to go up. But once it does, once that ETH Bitcoin trading pair evens out a little bit, that's when I think we'll start seeing some better Ethereum games. But short term, next day or two, I see Bitcoin outperforming Ethereum just on the short term. Long term, I'm still a little more bullish on Ethereum as far as next like 2-3 months. I think Ethereum has a better chance to double than Bitcoin personally. What would you say?
Yeah. No, I agree with that. That sounds about right. You know, it can move from 4 to 8 or 4,500 to 9 real quick. And I don't, you know, we're looking at Bitcoin getting from mid 50s to not quite 100 or right at 100. So if Bitcoin does that, I think Ethereum will move more than double. So I like Ethereum to make a big, strong move here towards the end of the year.
All right, this is a really bullish chart to me personally. If we look at the weekly on Bitcoin, we might be forming a green dot here. That would be very, very, very bullish. So, but again, this the week it just happened less than 24 hours ago, about 15 hours ago, 17 hours ago. So, I mean, we still got 6 days, 7 hours, but if we can have a pretty good week, I'm feeling pretty good because if we get that weekly chart looking bullish, I mean, that's how we'll see that parabolic December, January, possibly, you know, that extended cycle into March. So that's what we need. We need that weekly. We need a good week here for sure, though. That'd be my 2 cents.
Yeah, I
All right.
agree. Yeah, it's looking strong.
All right, little Bitcoin PayPal action. Bitcoin over PayPal. I don't know, man. Do you think PayPal's greater than Bitcoin?
Is PayPal greater than Bitcoin? Definitely not.
Definitely with 1,000% no. All right, Bitcoin overtakes PayPal on value transferred, set sights on MasterCard. Ooh, man, Bitcoin just taking over one by one. All these things is just going to be smaller and smaller. Suggests that the Bitcoin network could potentially match the dollar value to MasterCard's network as early as 2026 or as late as 2060. Wow, that's a pretty broad. They didn't really narrow that down.
No, that's quite the prediction right there. It's coming sometime, but it is important to note this is value transferred, not actually transactions. So we know there's a much bigger, you know, multi-million dollar transactions that happen on Bitcoin. So that's basically was the news over the weekend that this year Bitcoin has transferred more value than PayPal. Basically, more dollars have changed hands over the Bitcoin network
Yeah.
than the PayPal network. So,
Yeah, I mean, especially if you know, you're two rogue nation states and you're selling some oil, you're not selling. You know, it's a little bit more than the Starbucks $4.89 transaction. You know,
Correct.
it's going to be like closer to $489 million.
right.
Yeah. So when my Bitcoin network process volumes like MasterCard and Visa points out, Bitcoin processed about $500 billion per quarter in 2021, which is greater than PayPal's $302 billion. In just 12 years of existence, Bitcoin does about 27% of MasterCard's basically their revenue per quarter and 15% of Visa's 3.2 trillion. Yeah, I didn't know MasterCard was even that high versus Visa. I would have said it was less than half, but yeah, a little bit more than half right there. So if Bitcoin were to increase its value transferred per transaction today by 260%, it'd be processing equivalent volume to MasterCard on a daily basis. That means probably about 400% to reach Visa. Trend could change in the future, but a rise to 250,000 at the current volume would bring it to match MasterCard. The price action might potentially more likely than an uptick in volume, according to some analysts. I mean, quarter million's a little hopeful, but I mean, I think on a long enough time scale, it definitely will happen. Ultimately, claims that this is unlikely for Bitcoin's price to rise that level to reach MasterCard. One considers the average yearly Bitcoin price, it would take until 2060. Okay, so that's where they got the 2060 metric. Spoiler alert, block data nerds. Bitcoin price is going to go up before 2060. I'd be willing to bet a lot on that one. So it's impressive how Bitcoin is 27% of the way in terms of volume processed compared to MasterCard. Company founded in 1966. So yeah, Bitcoin, it doesn't take long to catch up. That's what technology's doing. You know, these legacy systems, it took decades to get where they're going. You even think of Google, how long it took Google to get to where they're going. And you think of Netflix, how long their growth was when they were doing DVDs. But the second they essentially went all digital, you know, that's when you saw that explosive growth. Amazon, you know, I mean, they're selling books for a while, then all of a sudden, boom, you know, it was bigger than Walmart, and then they never even looked back. So with tech, with basically leverage without trying to, yeah, it's just leverage. It's just the power of leverage. Code, data,
It's network effects as well.
network effects. Yeah, the leverage of the network. So yeah, I mean, it's huge. And on the Bitcoin note here, we haven't seen this name in a while. Oh, Michael Saylor, old Sailor Boy, purchased an additional 7,000 Bitcoins. Why do you think they got 7,002 instead of an even number?
That is interesting. They were probably trying to spend 415 million, probably, and it just rounded out to something like that.
Yeah, or I wonder if they set in motion to buy 7,000 and then the price fell
and they got a couple extra.
Hey, I got a couple extra.
Yeah.
Hey, you know,
That makes
like,
sense.
Yeah, if you're the accountant, you're like, well, do I buy the 7,000 or do I just like spend the extra 2? Like, oh, they're gonna yell at me if I don't buy the extra Bitcoin.
Here's the bigger question. Where do you land on the Bitcoins debate? I mean, they bought 7,000. I would say MicroStrategy purchased an additional 7,002 Bitcoin for 414.4 million. But he tends to write it with an S.
Yeah, and it's Michael Saylor. So, you know, like you can't debate him on it because there'll be 2 hours, you know, and he'll talk about Apache Indian shells or something, you know, like he'll like go like real esoteric.
What's really a plural?
yeah.
But
So,
where do you
he'll
land
like go
on
the Latin root and stuff.
How do
So,
you say it?
I'm Bitcoin.
Bitcoin. Yeah,
Yeah,
same.
7,002 Bitcoin.
Yeah.
You know.
1 Bitcoin, 10 Bitcoin. It's just Bitcoin, just like deer. 1 deer, 10 deer. 5
Yeah,
deer.
or 50 Cent, the rapper, he ruined 50 Cent for me. I can't say 50 cents. No, if something costs 17 cents, you just say 17 cents. But when it's 50 cents, it's like because you said the rapper's name so many times.
Yeah.
You just say 50 Cent.
Yeah.
But it's 50 cents. Yeah. So yeah, they bought 7,002 Bitcoin at average price of 59,000. As of November 29th, they have 121,000 Bitcoins for 3.5 billion, average price of 29,000. He's becoming one of the bigger whales. And you know, it's crazy. There's bigger whales in this. He's like barely, you know, compared to some of the other ones. So it's it's awesome to see. Michael Saylor, you keep doing you. Just last quick Bitcoin story here. We got the Bitcoin versus the bear market. So it's looking good. Yeah, that was a good buying opportunity if you jumped in there. So added almost 1,500 as some sense of equilibrium returned to the crypto markets. Both crypto and traditional assets. Yeah, they were. It was the news designated news. Yeah, they keep changing the name. The Omicron and this is supposed to be the G and yeah. So it's interesting to see what that's done to the markets. But yeah, essentially, yeah, the markets seem to be bouncing back. Now, do you say the dip was just based on what brought down the traditional markets, or do you think there was something else? You know, there was a little bit of data that some whales had sold a few positions here and there. Why do you think we dipped so hard?
I think it's a combination. It's rarely one thing that causes the dip across the board. I think the news of the new variant creates an opportunity for some whales to move some stuff around. You know, you're going to have, traditional markets pulling back. We often see the crypto markets mirror that in some regard. It kind of reminded me of March when we had that kind of flash crash where it looked really dire. All this different news was coming out. There was a lot of turmoil in the markets, and we flash crashed all the way down to like 3,800, but then immediately recovered to a zone that everybody had started to feel comfortable in, which is what I felt like happened a little bit in the micro over the weekend, dropping all the way down to 53 and change, but then snapping back pretty quick. Like after the reality set in, like, hey, wait a minute, this really doesn't change anything. There's really nothing to be afraid of. If anything, if there's something to be afraid of, we should be buying more Bitcoin. So, it kind of reminded me of that sentiment.
Yeah, and me and Justin have talked about this. It's not so much like people saw a variant and then they sold their Bitcoin.
No.
They
Exactly.
panic sold. Like, I don't think that happens to anybody. I'm sure
Mhm.
there's one person or something, but I think what happens is they see the news, they see the stock market, so they just open a short,
Yeah.
or if they're in a long, they close it,
Right.
and then that's the selling pressure. No one wakes up in the morning, sees a headline, and says, well, I guess I was wrong, and
It's
they
over.
just sell all their Bitcoin. Yeah,
Yeah.
that does not happen.
No.
I-
Well, and people, like you were saying, they forget how much of the market is leverage. And so
Yeah.
just closing longs or setting shorts can make a big difference.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it in like a crypto face stream where
Yep.
he'll like just literally like just a giant order, and then his whale crew all simultaneous buy on some longs. Next thing you know, it's just like whoop, like just out of nowhere, and you're like, okay, maybe that's a coincidence, but more likely, yeah, just that little bit of 4x, 6x. You get enough whales to do that. 10x, you get some J chains to do it. 25x,
Yeah.
and next thing you know, like that's enough to move the needle, and it does certainly. I mean, we've seen it with the Elon tweets.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, let's talk a little EIP 4488. Sounds like a movie. Buterin issued a decreased cost and cap proposal that aims to reduce unprecedented levels of strain and risk breaking the network. All you people minting all your little JPEG frogs. Buterin has proposed a new limit on the transaction call data in a block to decrease the overall transaction call data gas costs over the network. The post on the Ethereum Magicians Forum, EIP 4488, highlights concerns regarding high transaction fees. We all know about these high transaction fees on the layer 1 blockchains for rollups and a considerable amount of time to implement and deploy the data sharding. Now, we were talking about the EIP. Why do you think this EIP matters more than just a regular EIP?
The most notable thing to me is the fact that it's coming from Vitalik Buterin.
I mean, look at him.
Yeah. If it's an EIP that he's proposing, I would say the odds are extremely high that it goes through.
Yeah. So I mean, what he says, tends to move what's the sentiment of the
Mhm.
engineers and the developers working on the back end, working on implementing, writing all the code, going in GitHub and parsing over the data and checking it and doing all the bugs. When he says something, like everyone's like, okay, they'll pay a little bit more attention. So his EIPs tend to get past. And you look at the number 4,488. There's a lot of them. There's thousands of them out there. So while the entrepreneur cited alternative wherein the gas cost parameters could be decreased without further adding a limit to the block size, he foresees a security concern in decreasing the call data gas cost from 16 to 3. This would increase the maximum block size to 10 megabytes, I guess, and push the Ethereum peer-to-peer networking layer to unprecedented levels of strain and risk breaking the network. I mean, if it comes to the tech, I'm sure he knows what he's talking about here. It's worth rethinking historical opposition to multi-dimensional resource limits and considering them as a pragmatic way to simultaneously achieve moderate scalability gains while retaining security. Now, you see that written down, you're like, God, no one talks like that. But then if you listen to a Vitalik interview, I've listened to him hours and hours, so I'm just hearing it in his I don't want to say robot voice, but in his metallic accent. Oh, maybe.
There you go.
Okay. Anyways, yeah. So I mean that's really how the guy talks. So if accepted, the implementation of the proposal would require a scheduled network upgrade, resulting in the backward incompatible gas repricing for the Ethereum ecosystem. A worst case scenario would be a theoretical long run maximum of 1.2 million bytes versus a 12-second slot or 3 terabytes per year. So again, the guy knows what he's talking about when it comes to these solutions trying to make the Ethereum network work. One thing we have seen with these competitors is everyone's like, oh, well, they should just do it on this network and it'd work. A a lot of times we see when these networks get strained, they break. Solana broke. Avalanche broke. You put the amount of users on any of these other chains, they're gonna crash.
Yeah.
Polygon, and like I love Polygon. I own some Polygon, but Ethereum has scaled slowly but surely, and there's no other chain that can take on this amount of transactions. Although there is that one that's sometimes higher, maybe it's EOS, I think. But as far as like the regular, you think of layer one solution,
Yeah.
none of
Also,
them.
just real quick, people in the chat talking about Bitcoin pumping pretty hard right now. Just in the last few minutes, I watched it go from under 57 all the way to 58,458. So we're getting
All right.
some massive moves on the charts, which is nice.
You know what? It's because Deezy's hosting. Woo! Look at that
Looky
5 minute chart right there. I mean, that's
Boom.
not even that. Yeah. I mean, we look at it like in a real. Yeah. Yeah. So
That's what you want in the
it's
morning.
looking good. It's looking good. Let's go to Frank's favorite chart right here. The 1 minute. Oh my God. He'd probably faint from excitement if he saw that. Yeah. Look at it. It's moving. It's moving. Hurry. Someone play some we need some techno music now.
Where's the it's time to pump it up music, Brian? Where's Brian when you need him?
Yeah. We need something. We need Boris Brechtga or somebody here. All right, let's see. Ethereum. One more Ethereum thing. Yeah, the devs assess of reducing. Yeah, so they're looking into it. It looks like it's probably gonna happen. I mean, we'll see. They still got to vote on it and everything, but yeah, they're basically just kind of going over the same technicals here. So I'm pretty bullish on that. What we saw with EIP 1559 was huge price action. So people are so ready. The smart money knows, these other layers, they can't handle it right now. So the smart money wants Ethereum to be fixed, although there's some, heavy Solana whales probably don't want it to get fixed, but smart money's betting on it. It should be able to, be alleviated a little bit. Maybe it won't fix it where, yeah, $6 gas fees again. You know what? That probably isn't going to happen. And ETH was a lot cheaper back then anyway. So even if it's still going to be higher. Will there be a perfect solution? No, but like people are ready for these incremental solutions. We saw with the EIP 1559, really nothing changed day to night. It just, it seemed to not break. So the price, I mean, we had a record number of green daily candles. So, I mean, if I can see something similar to, happening here. So hopefully, because we've seen what happens with Cardano news, crickets. So maybe this will be the maybe this will be another record number of green dailies. I'll take 5, I'll take 7. I don't need 10 or 14 or whatever the number was. Just give me like 7 dailies in a row. That's all I'm asking here. All right, it's time to XRP. We got to talk about the XRP army. Where are you at? Let's get some likes. Let's get those likes up. Let's get spam the message, share it, share the link, tweet it out, text your boss, say I'm not working, I'm watching BitBoy. Because Deezy's on. All right, let's see.
Deezy in the house.
Deezy's in the house. What XRP SEC Ripple lawsuit? All eyes on JP Morgan crypto economy forum tomorrow. What will be the trends in cryptocurrency space in 2022? And what will be the role of XRP once the SEC Ripple lawsuit is finished? Wait a minute. The lawsuit's going to be finished one day?
Uh-oh.
Oh, man. What do you think that's going to do to the price?
Action.
Yeah. That's a good answer. Up or down, one way, it's going to move, and it's going to move a lot. I think there's so many people waiting on the sidelines here. JP Morgan report sent to investors earlier this month put XRP in the SEC Ripple lawsuit under the spotlight and concluded that a win would put the crypto asset on the road to mainstream adoption. I mean, it's on the road to mainstream adoption already. I think it's just some of these exchanges are maybe, dragging their heels. And of course, people are having different experiences outside of America. So it's not every, country where they're banning XRP from their exchanges. So I think my boss knows I don't work when Deezy's on. I like to hear that Lou Ferrigno. All right. I'm green with envy. All right. Ripple has successfully accelerated its global expansion this year, despite fears that the lawsuit could cause hesitancy amongst institutional partners. I don't think that's fears. I think that's a fact. I mean, we've seen that with Coinbase, just as the number one example. The bank is one of the big ones joining the crypto movement, having created its own digital coin for payments and providing wealth management clients with access to crypto via the Grayscale and Osprey Trust. They've also been in the headlines admitting that institutional investors are increasingly replacing gold with Bitcoin and are also shifting favorites from Bitcoin to Ether. Part of the trend, they're keeping an eye on Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, as well as DOT, Uni, and Link. Some of my favorite coins. This is like some of the last 3 I bought right there. So feeling good about it. The Crypto Economy Forum will focus on today's ecosystem and tomorrow's marketplace. It's invite only. And if you're a client, hey, I want to invite. I'm going to contact their representative or email the relevant regional conference team. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that now.
Real quick.
Boop, boop, boop.
On that one, go up a little bit, that 3 where they listed.
Yeah, here.
Yeah. No, I'm looking at it. It's just interesting. The crypto industry, the financial institution is keeping an eye on Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, Polkadot, Uniswap, and Chainlink. It's just Dogecoin stands out to me on that list as one that's not like the other ones. I mean, Bitcoin, Ethereum, that's pretty obvious. Uniswap, Polkadot, Chainlink, all of those have very clear use cases in the space. Dogecoin mostly being a community coin.
Yeah, and insanely inflationary.
Yeah.
I can't see them seeing that as a good investment just off the billion Doge added every day,
Right.
or whatever that number is.
So on face value, that doesn't really make sense, but just note it one way or the other. Maybe they know something we don't.
Yeah, I mean, and then again, I don't know how much like short-term trading they're doing, but like maybe they know about an exchange or two, or maybe a Robinhood, adding custody or something like that. I mean, can you imagine if Robinhood actually added Doge wallet capabilities? Because I mean, I have a Doge wallet. Most people don't have a Doge wallet though.
Mhm.
I don't even know my Doge. I haven't even looked at my Doge wallet. I couldn't even access it. Like, I don't even care about it. Like, but I mean, just having that narrative out there would be very, very big. But then again, I don't think they sell the pump.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's strange, but just keep an eye on it. It's something to note. I don't know if there's any actionable insights right this minute. The other thing I was going to say about XRP, some news I saw come out over the weekend, is Jed McCaleb's on over a 3-month hold of selling any XRP. So he hasn't been doing his normal sells and dumping in quite some time. Also, somebody who's on the inside, if anybody is to know anything about price action, it's probably him. If he's expecting a big pump to come, that makes sense for him to hold as much as he can before that comes. Just
maybe he's thinking $2 is a little too cheap.
Yeah, that might be. That's what I pulled out of it. So
yeah, no, that's something to look into, because he sells like clockwork. You know what I mean? And he has so much money.
It has for years.
Yeah, it's just an automatic thing to him. So for him to make a change in that would have to be it would have to move the needle. It wouldn't be a 10-cent pump. Like, you wouldn't think, oh, I think it's going to go up 10 cents, so I'm going to not sell. It'd have to be, I would say, $3, right? Like, I'm thinking, what would it take for him to change his routine? I'm guessing, of course, I'm just trying to mind read here, and I'm always against mind reading, but I'm guessing he's probably thinking $3. That'd be my guess. I don't know.
We'll find out.
We shall. All right. 2021 Crypto Literacy Report suggests almost all Americans fail to comprehend basic crypto knowledge.
I could have told you that.
You know what? 96, that's 1 out of 25.
Yeah.
So you got 25 people, like in the DMV at any one time, maybe one person knows. So yeah, recent study, 99% of people from Mexico and Brazil and 96% of Americans fail to grasp the basic concepts of cryptocurrencies. Out of all the survey respondents aware, Bitcoin, 17% in the US, 15% in Brazil, 14% in Mexico own the crypto asset.
That's growing.
That is pretty big, I would say. 17% in the US say they own Bitcoin. All right. A report published by cryptoliteracy.org further explains that 9 out of 10 survey respondents did not know that Bitcoin supply is capped off at 21 million. Now, if this is a cryptoliteracy.org poll, yeah, I mean, it can't be something from their website, because it would be much, much higher numbers. But I wonder, we always talk about this, like, what is the data sample? Is this, just a randomized thing? Are they calling home phones? Well, that's not representative of America. So like the Pew Research and all these things, it's I don't know. They really have to ask a lot of people to get a fair representation. And even then, you got to really dive into, how do they ask people? Was this asking online? Was this, door to door? Was this phone calls? Well, were the phone calls? Were they home phones? Were they cell phones? Is this spam email? So again, you just got to be careful with this data. I mean, you can kind of get any kind of number you want out of it, but it is good that we see it just continuously grow.
Well, and what I would take from this also is it shows how early we still are, regardless of how accurate it is or how many people. We're still extremely early. If you feel like maybe you missed the boat, you haven't, because the opportunity is in the unknown and doing the work before it is common knowledge and before it is easy for people to understand. So I would see this as a very optimistic thing if you're new here, that there's a lot of time left and a lot of opportunity for you still in crypto, obviously.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we are still early. I mean, you can see that with what we talked about earlier, the Discord. Like they
Hmm.
don't understand Web3 and all that entails. So the Crypto Literacy Org report explains that 1/3 of respondents thought purchasing crypto was easy today. Furthermore, the survey believes crypto is failing its mission of financial inclusion. That's interesting. Ownership tends to point to wealthy and highly educated users at this point in time, according to the survey's result. Additionally, older generations are left behind in regard to cryptocurrency comprehension, as 67% of US baby boomers had a lack of crypto knowledge. I would say this is victim mentality. I don't know, language here. I'm not a fan of that, saying people are left behind. I'm not a fan of saying you have to be highly educated to
Mm-mm.
understand crypto. I think all that's just excuses. You will learn anything you are interested in,
Yeah.
period. Some people, like I'm thinking of a family member in specific. I'm not going to name him. Todd, I'm gonna name him. And you know what? He'll tell you all about the Astros. He'll tell you all about Dallas Cowboys linemen's draft. What high school they went to, or they went to this college. You know what? We have mental shelf space. I
Hmm.
choose to fill my mental shelf space with crypto. Is that a good thing? I mean, my crypto wallet thinks so,
It's working
like,
out.
do I have less time for Magic the Gathering? Yeah. Do I have less time for sports? Yeah, I don't even follow sports anymore. I used to do fantasy football and watch Sports Center every day. You know what? I'd rather watch crypto content now. So we learn what we want to learn. But saying people are being left behind or they're not smart enough, that's not the right mentality. That's not the right
No,
language. Everybody's smart enough to get involved. Of course,
100%.
obvious exceptions, but you can get involved on some level, even if it's you like the Doge meme and you want to retweet it. Hey, now you're involved. Okay. Can you figure out how to work your smartphone? Then you can figure out, I hate to say it, you can figure out Robinhood, like you
Yeah.
can get your baby level exposure. But saying people are getting left behind or not smart enough, that's just very
Yeah.
wrong. And I
I
don't want you to feel that way ever.
No, I agree. That was a great breakdown there. I always say if you're smart enough to buy something on Amazon, then you're smart enough to
There you
figure
go.
out crypto. Like
And
if
you
you
know
can
what?
do that,
Do you remember 10 years ago, every grandparent said they'll never learn a smartphone?
yep. And now,
I can't figure it out. Oh, I don't know how you do that, but what are you hitting those buttons? Now, what are they all using?
yeah, you
They're
can't get
all
them off Facebook on their cell phone.
exactly. And my grandpa, I'm gonna go see him this December. He's about to be put in a home. Wayne, shout out to Grandpa Wayne here. And he was one of those same people. He's 90. Okay, so he was working a smartphone last. Okay, he talk about old dog learning new tricks. He learned in his 80s. Okay, and it's not like he's solving nuclear physicist equations, in his spare time or anything. He's 80 something. You talk to him, it's like talking to an 80-year-old person. And he learned a smartphone. He learned Facebook on his phone. So yeah, if you can order something on Amazon, you can figure out Facebook on your phone. You can figure out crypto. It's not that hard. It sounds scary because there's so many layers, but we all start surface level. When we flounder, we flop and we grope.
Hmm.
And then next thing then we're shin deep. Next thing you know, we're treading water with weights around our ankles, okay? And we're swimming with the weight above our head.
Yep.
You'll get there, all right? Slowly but surely. Slow will win the race here. But
I would say there's never been a more economically inclusive environment than where we have with digital assets
yeah,
today.
when I see things saying it's exclusive
Yeah.
or gatekeep, no, it's not. It's open. It's the definition of open.
Yeah.
Like all these other banking is a gatekeeper.
Right.
Crypto frees that. So yeah.
Accrediting investing, everything that exists in the current economic structure that existed before, that is gatekeeping. Crypto's about as open as it gets. So yeah, I would agree. That article's pretty off base.
Easy is the cool uncle that ruined Facebook signing up grandma.
Oh,
Oh man, you know what?
he was just trying to help him out.
Look, she wanted to share her recipe with her
Right.
friend down the street, okay? And
Well,
she wanted to comment weird things on all the nieces
Well,
midriff photos. So.
if DZ was your grandson, you'd want to be posting pictures of him all day long too. So you know what? Don't.
Yeah, you say, can you believe my grandson's wearing green spandex? He's never going to get a job in office. I worry about him.
Yeah. Look at him now, Grandma.
Look at me now. I bought 4 Link.
That's
Okay.
right.
All right, let's talk about Brave. All right, no, not the Braves, not home of the Brave. we're talking about Bat, and we're not talking about Batman. Although I like Batman. You know, Bruce Wayne. He's one of my favorite characters. But basic attention token defies the wider crypto market route. Hits all-time high. What's funny is we were talking about that, like how it's tough for that to get their price appreciating because it has such high selling pressure.
Mhm.
But I guess the people got exhausted here. The market capitalization of the entire industry has plummeted in the last 24 hours. But leading with the leading cryptos all seeing their price falling, one token showing surprise resilience. BAT, basic attention token, was up 10%, where everything else was falling. It's a native crypto for Brave, the Brave browser's open internet. Instead of tracking users' behavior and showing advertisements based on that behavior, they can earn BAT for voluntarily viewing the advertisements. You can also block all advertisements, but you won't earn any BAT if you do that. The coin was launched 2017 with the ICO earning them 35 million. Oh man, I wonder what they're worth now. Token's latest rise, however, is difficult to pin on any one event, but recent announcements, updates from Brave do offer some justification.
One quick thing to note on that last sentence, it's hard to figure out why it pumped. Another thing we always like to point out with basic attention token is it is a DCG, digital currency group
That's
project.
right.
So odds are they were ready for it to pump because it's been sitting very dormant for a very long time, and the people behind it have been in crypto for a while, and it is a great product. We've always
Yeah.
said it's one of the best actually functioning crypto products that exists in the space.
hmm
Has millions of users, which is a far and away. It's probably beyond maybe some games and some platforms, one of the most used crypto products.
DZ is the grandson with the hairline of a grandfather.
Oh.
Oh. Let's look at the BAT market cap real quick. Earned 35 million with the with their ICO there. $2.3 billion. So I would say that they're sitting pretty.
Mhm.
Brave appear to be the topic of discussion this Thanksgiving. Yeah, that's all everybody was talking about. Like,
Oh, yeah.
pass me the gravy. By the way, how's your BAT token doing? It's all people were saying. Brave
Yeah.
attention this, brave attention that.
Uh-huh.
Hand me the cornbread dressing. The broader crypto market did not enjoy the same kind of bullish attention. The leading cryptos, Bitcoin and Ethereum, dropped about 7 and 8% over the last 24 hours. BNB fell 10, Sol fell 10, Cardano fell 9. Cardano's route appears closely related to news that the trading platform eToro, people still talking about that.
Good.
Metaverse, NFT, cryptocurrencies like IMX, Engine, and Mana have fallen off hard too. Yeah, I know. The day after I get my IMX airdrop. Market dip has also shed roughly 3 billion from the entire market cap, currently hovering around 2.5 trillion. So still up there, still sky high, but not totally there. Look, we got quick 20 seconds. We'll mention this. Mr. Gox,
Oh, no.
crypto trading hamster, he has perished. I know him and Ben had beef. You want to
Yeah.
elaborate?
I guess last week we were talking about
Beef
most
is real.
influential. I think it was the CoinDesk list for the most influential people in blockchain this year. Ben wasn't on there, and he was remarking, really, the Mount Gox hamster made it, and I didn't. So a lot of people were saying Ben versus the hamster, and now we've got a dead hamster on our hands. Not saying Ben did it, but
Yeah, I mean, he is gone.
yeah. I don't know where
He's
he is
out of
right now.
town.
Yeah,
Maybe some timelines are looking fishy.
yeah.
It's looking a little suspicious. The rodent who shot to internet fame for his ability to outperform human investors using a specially built trading cage died this past week. His official Twitter account, he had 18,000 followers on social media. You proved to us that the internet doesn't necessarily have to be a toxic wasteland, his owners told the BBC. We're absolutely overwhelmed with the uncountable and touching condolences we have received across all channels. What we personally learned from this project has little to do with crypto. Oh man, this is so good. It was a fun meme. There's his little cage right there with the buy and the sell thing. So yeah, it was good to see, and it was good to see that traders, they're right 50% of the time. That's about the average. Now you'll have the good traders, and they're right more than 50% of the time. But then the bad traders will offset that by being wrong more than 50% of the time. But on average, a trader's right half the time. So it was just interesting. It kind of just sheds a light that there are the good traders. We like to think that we're familiar, and we like to shine a spotlight on these people who are accurate often. You look at a Tom Crown or a Wendy or a Arcane or Marcus Cipher and Crypto Face. There are some good traders out there, but then there's a lot of bozos. Then there's people who are just eternally bullish, and then there's the people eternally bearish. And it's just like, well, why are 80% of your calls saying one direction versus the other? Shouldn't it like kind of theoretically be close to 50-50? People insert their biases, and you're going to see that left and right. So it was just fun to see that this little hamster, this little rodent, this little mammal was able to outperform these humans, and was actually doing a pretty good job. I'm sure, you know what? On a long enough time scale, probably would have got back down to even, right? Would you agree or disagree with that?
Yeah. Odds.
Maybe the owners, you know? I'm not saying anything specific. I'm just kind of, putting some dots out there for you. Maybe they're like, hey, we gotta end on a high note here. I don't know. Let's look at his last trade. Or conversely, he cost his owners money. His owners became so invested in his picks. They're like, he said buy Cardano. They wrote everything on it. And then next thing you know, Cardano fell 10%.
Maybe he got in over his head with some leverage. Started owing some people some money, and you're just like, you know what? I'm just going to take the easy way.
And we're not talking about YouTube influencer here borrowing money for leverage trading. But I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm not saying it did happen, but I'm not saying it didn't. That's all I'm going to say.
Speaking of leaving your post, what's going on with Mr. Dorsey?
Yeah. Let's look at that. Let's see here. I thought it was going to be right after this one. Jack Dorsey expected to step down as Twitter CEO. Trading in the Twitter stock was halted after the CNBC report came out.
Now, wait a minute. So they can just, if they're about to lose their CEO, they just freeze the trading on the stock? How's that?
So it said it was halted shortly after the report came out. So I'm wondering if this was NASDAQ that did it. Now, are you suggesting that maybe Twitter gave them a heads up? Like, hey...
No. I just didn't know that was a thing they do. So, like, your CEO might be stepping down. The stock obviously is going to be affected by that. It might plummet. People might sell. So they're just going to not let you do that?
Yeah, I wonder if it dipped first, though. That's what I was wondering.
Oh, like it hit the breaker or something?
Yeah, but that doesn't make sense because this is 9:31 Eastern Standard Time. And those updates.
Just coming back to fair and inclusive, this is why we need crypto, because... the stock market is clearly manipulated if they're going to just halt trading because the CEO is stepping down.
I mean, we saw it with the Robinhood, the meme stock debacle. We're seeing it here. I mean, he's a well-known fan of Bitcoin. He's initiated several Bitcoin projects through Twitter and Square. He's also the CEO of that. The Twitter stakeholder Elliott Management had tried to replace Dorsey as their CEO last year because of his ability to run two companies simultaneously. But they reached an agreement to have him continue in both roles. Twitter stock initially jumped on the news. That's weird. So it didn't plummet. It was actually the opposite. So yeah, I mean, when I was saying earlier, when Twitter had been co-opted by his board is a lot. I mean, I don't know the exact breakdown. I have to look into it, but chances are his board is some of these legacy institutions or their representatives. It's going to be these early seed investors in Twitter, basically buy their way onto the board. And I'm only kind of remembering this from his last battle with the board when they tried to fire him. It was these, these wealth managers and these, traditional finance guys. And, I'm not saying they're being told by their higher ups, but, maybe there's a lot of people who don't like what Jack Dorsey's doing, bringing crypto to the mainstream with a Twitter. The Bitcoin tipping app on Twitter was going to be one of the biggest moments for adoption. And, I'd be very interested to see if the news on that changes, if they delay that or slow that or cancel that. I'm saying they're related. I'm gonna go out there, put on my tinfoil hat and say, yeah, they didn't like that. They didn't like the widespread Bitcoin adoption. And, maybe this is the banks putting a strong arm on old Jackie boy. I don't know. I mean, I'm not the one that gets conspiratorial here, but I don't like that, the board is trying to vote him out. And then the price went up. That kind of just tells you that the powers that be, they didn't like this guy.
No.
And I don't think it's because of his nose ring.
No, I think it's, they're profit driven. I think somebody said that in the chat. Now Twitter's going to be aiming to be profitable. So that's going to push their stock price up, where he was kind of focused, he wasn't namely driven by profits. And that's what most boards want, is somebody that's profit first minded.
Yeah, and then even break that down further, profit for this quarter.
Yeah,
You know, like I don't care
exactly.
about making money 10 years from now. I want to make next quarter. I want my returns. I want my dividends. I want my quarter.
I want
Uh,
stocks to go up all the time.
yeah, yeah. Not like long term play. You zoom out. No. I want it now. I want it now because I don't care about this company. I'm just trying to flip.
Yep.
All right. Well, let's talk about the metaverse. The metaverse monsters here. Grayscale. Speaking of monsters, Grayscale report sees metaverse as potential $1 trillion business opportunity.
Easy.
Easy, yeah. Grayscale seems to have set its gaze on the metaverse as a business opportunity. Yesterday, they released a report where it examined the feasibility of this interconnected virtual world and how these economies can provide a profitable entry for investors, considering this area could grow to a $1 trillion business in the near future. One of the leading crypto asset managers, and they're saying, yeah, it's going to be $1 trillion business. And they got this from their Metaverse Web 3.0 Virtual Cloud Economies report released yesterday, and they break down their potential. The vision for the future state of the web has the potential to transform our social interactions, business dealings, and the internet economy at large. States one of the first addressable markets is going to be the gaming industry. Definitely. We're seeing that with Decentraland, Axie Infinity, and Sandbox. They're taking a little jab at the Zuck here. They're trying to also create one themselves, of course. It states that these closed Web 2.0 companies will have to evolve to interoperate with other companies to really make their metaverse attempts richer. Yeah, I mean, we talked about that. Is the metaverse going to be closed? Is it going to be open? We don't know. We don't know the path Facebook will take with the metaverse ambitions, but they, like the other Web 2.0 companies, need to make this challenging shift in the face of pressure to meet quarterly results. As on cue. Yeah, you got to make those quarterly reports for the shareholders. I think it was Naval Ravikant said it best. When you have a big company like a Facebook, aka Meta, and they have to pivot or they have to change directions, is what I should say. When you have to change directions, you don't want to pivot. You want to jump. You want to leap. You want to pull a Netflix. So
Mm.
you not only do you want to change, you want to change. You want to change hard. I remember I was super into stocks back then. I used to watch stock market. I set my alarm to the stock market rise. I was all into DCAing and stocks and stuff. This is before crypto. This is before the financial market meltdown. And yeah, I remember they're talking about it and they're getting all into it and they're talking about the quarterly results and you got to have this, but it's happening. It's too late. This is going to happen. And there's nothing I mean, of course they're going to invest in this. Question
Mhm.
is, what's the first stock metaverse play?
Mm.
And is traditional bank, are they going to jump on? I guess it is Meta, right?
Yeah, probably it would be investing in tech companies that are moving towards the metaverse. I'm sure there's a lot of AR, VR kind of stock options you can get into. I'm sure there's some index funds that roll up, emerging tech that would include VR type stuff. Or it'd probably be something like, what we covered with the that Bitcoin fund where they were holding stock in public companies that had a vested interest in Bitcoin
Yeah.
projects like MicroStrategy, Square, some of those, Grayscale. So you might see
Oh,
something similar on the tech side.
White Paladin has a pretty good question. Is Meta going to dump in the bear market? I think Meta is kind of, I don't want to say bear market proof as far as Bitcoin bear market, but I mean, they operate on their own blockchain. I don't know. I'm leaning towards bear market proof. What about you?
Um, that's a big question. I mean, that's something I've been thinking about a lot. Something Ben and I've been talking about quite a bit. As far as like, it will, I think, operate. It will start to differentiate from Bitcoin. So the way I describe it is, Bitcoin is bubbling up right now. It's in a
Hmm.
bubble. It will reset and pop. We will go into a bear market. I would say NFTs are a separate bubble that are
Yeah.
also bubbling up. Will they pop at the same time is the question, and then metaverse would be the third one. We're also bubbling into metaverse projects. They're all their own bubble. One might pop, which might pop the others, or one might pop and the others kind of stay on their own a little bit longer, maybe move into 2022, 2023, or they could all go into a bear market at the same time. We don't really know yet because we haven't seen those markets
Yeah.
differentiate yet. But I would say, yeah, one will pop before the other. Maybe the NFTs and metaverse projects run a little bit longer, but ultimately they'll all bubble up. We will see a bear market for all of them. That's the best time to accumulate, and then they'll all recycle again, and the cycle will continue, in my opinion.
All right. Yeah, I agree. Agree with all that. All right. Also, there's a digital land plot sold for millions and millions of dollars. I want to just cut right to it here. Yeah, the sale of Axie Infinity land plot
Yep.
was carried out this week with the buyer paying 550 Ethereum worth $2.3 million for the Axie digital property, breaking the earlier record. Axie is not the only group that is benefiting from this. Decentraland registered a different sale for $2.4 million in crypto this week. This was not made by an individual, but by Metaverse Group, subsidiary of Tokens.com, dedicated to the metaverse-based real estate investments. I haven't checked out Tokens.com. I might need to look into that. Obviously, not as good a name as Crypto.com, but there is something to be said for if you got the pockets to buy Tokens.com. You're probably not just like a fly-by-night scam, a rug pull. You're probably in the long run. That'd be my guess. And with these projects and integrating virtual worlds, future looks like as though will bring more of these investments from companies that prefer to manage virtual land than to deal with uncertainties and complexity of managing real property, even when the properties bought are more expensive than the real estate in the physical world. Yeah, that is interesting to see that we saw the NFT, the corporate money enter NFTs, and it exploded. I wonder if we'll see something with the land plots.
Yeah.
I don't know. And that's all we got time for. But I do want to emphasize Pluto Mint. You can burn tomorrow, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for 24 hours. You can burn a V1 Pluto and you receive a random V2. All you got to do is pay the gas fees. We don't charge for it. Then after 24 hours, the public mint will go live. There's the link. I think we got Ben to retweet it, or we're going to retweet it. Or just check out Pluto_alliance.com. And if you want, go ahead and just buy you one of these floor aliens. Get you a floor alien from OpenSea. Go burn it. Do your part to make Pluto deflationary. I'm burning 2. Let's see you burn 1 or 2 as well, BitSquad. And we'll reduce that amount by 3,333. That'll be huge. And that's just more free NFTs we're trying to give away, minus the gas fee. Of course, we can't do anything about that. But yeah, we're giving out, we were only going to do 1,000. Then we're like, what, let's do 2,000. And then they're like, we want more free NFTs. So we upped it to 3,333. So hopefully take part tomorrow, 11 a.m. Pluto is a planet. But we're going to be in Miami. So we got some special episodes coming up. What's up with those?
Yeah, we're going to have a special ATB show live at the conference tomorrow and Wednesday. DZ will be hosting tonight as normal with the call-in guests, but it'll look a little bit different Tuesday and Wednesday because we will all be there together, kind of like a Super Bowl style on location show. So it's going to look a little different. Hopefully the bandwidth and everything works out because they will be live on stage, but we'll have all sorts of people there, people you've seen on the show before. I think maybe 1 or 2 new ones. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be fun. We're going to have a blast down there. Somebody mentioned a meetup down in Miami. I don't know if we'll be able to pull off an official one, but we'll be there. Just come find us.
Looking forward to it. And that's all we got time for. And until next time, BitSquad, easy out. Pluto is a planet. You too.